I'm with Tui Rutten. She's the managing director for First Travel Cambodia. Tui, tell us, what does your company do?
Our company do represent the airline. We do the inbound and outbound tour from Cambodia and out from Cambodia to the destination like Thailand, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore. Because of to go further than that, it will be very difficult for the visa.
How much of the business is inbound?
For our inbound, we think that we do about 10% of all that come into Cambodia from because of we have two brands, First Travel and Interco. For First Travel, we are the high-end customer, and for Interco, we do on the middle and the lower category of the tourists that coming into Cambodia.
And how many passengers do you handle for both categories?
About 5,000 a year.
Typically, what kind of where do the customers come from, and what kind of services do you generally provide them?
Most of my customers are coming from America and from the Europe. Most of the customer that we handle is the cruise customer that we get it from the agent in Thailand, from Sea Tour and World Travel. And then the Scandinavian country where they have a tour first in Thailand, and then they do the tour in Vietnam, Cambodia, and we send them out to the Koh Kong border to Koh Chang, and they stay in Koh Chang for 7 days, and then they leave from Thailand.
And people normally just Angkor Wat, or do they do more nowadays?
Nowadays they do more. Before, yes, they do only 3-4 days in Angkor, and now we try to persuade them to stay longer, like the extension to the capital city like Phnom Penh, because of the road construction between Siem Reap to Phnom Penh have been better. And now we also have the beach resort in Sihanoukville. Sometimes we send them to the beach resort in Sihanoukville for about 3 days, and then they can either take the car to Koh Kong and then stay a few days in Koh Chang. But the road construction in that area is not yet very convenient. However, now there is the fight between Sihanoukville and Siem Reap by PTM Air, 3 or 4 flights a week, which can make it easier for the traveler that they don't have to come from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh and then Phnom Penh to Sihanoukville. They can also fly now from Siem Reap to Sihanoukville.
How do the resorts in Sihanoukville or the beaches compare with the ones, say, available in Thailand or in Vietnam?
I think the accommodation in Sihanoukville is still very limited, but they develop a lot. Like now you can see like Soka Angkor, they also have quite a very good accommodation, and there are many new hotels coming up, which is ready for the winter of this year.
Right now, there's only 4-star hotels and 1 5-star, maybe.
I think I consider the Soka Beach as a 4-star hotel, and then
Which one is that?
Soka Beach Resort. I consider them as a 4-star hotel, not yet at the 5-star.
Going back to the road between Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, you mentioned that was completed. How long is that drive?
About 3 to 4 hours. Yeah.
And now, previous to that, of course, you could fly, and then there's the ferry between on Tanglai Sap Lake.
Yes.
Is that still popular?
It's popular only during the season where there is the high level of the water. But during the dry season, it's still not popular because of the level of the water is very shallow.
Which is the rainy season?
Starting from May until October, but October, November, December, the level of the water is still high, so still can operate. But I don't recommend my customer during February, March, and April because of it's not convenient. When the level of the water is shallow, they have to get off from the ferry quite far, and the road condition from the ferry to the main road is not proper. It's not convenient.
let's assume we're between May and October, and the ferries, the waters on the lake is high enough.
Yes.
What would you recommend? Going by ferry or going by road between Siem Reap and Phnom Penh?
It depends, you know. Some people they like to go by ferry. We arrange that for them. But I think if they go by road, they can see more. Yeah, and between Phnom Penh to Siem Reap, about 40 kilometers before you reach Siem Reap, there is the ancient beach. And if they go by car, we can stop by and visit this beach, which is built during the Angkor Wat regime. So it's one of the very significant thing for the tourists to see.
Now, the road is pretty good road between Phnom Penh and Vietnam.
Yes.
Is that a worthy itinerary to go through and visit from Phnom Penh to Vietnam to Ho Chi Minh City?
Yes, there are more people who used to travel by road from Phnom Penh to Ho Chi Minh. Even our tourists, we do that because of it's more convenient, and also once they across the border, they can see the difference between the Cambodian living style and the Vietnamese living style.
I heard it's like night and day. You cross the border.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How many hours does that drive to the border, and from the border to Ho Chi Minh City?
To drive to the border is about 1.5 hour. To the ferry, not the border, because of you have to take the ferry, and then maybe another 40 minutes from the ferry to the border, and then from the border to Ho Chi Minh, it will take about 1.5 hour or 2 hours.
And the ferries on what waterway?
Mekong.
So it takes 45 minutes to cross the Mekong?
No. From the ferry to the border, it take about 40 minutes. Yeah, yeah.
Besides those destinations we talked about, what else do you recommend people who have some more time to visit in Cambodia?
I think for Phnom Penh as a capital city is a must that the tourists should visit, and then we try to develop to Sihanoukville, and Cape is also the beach town at the south of Cambodia, and then for the north we try to develop Ratanakiri and Mondonkiri for bicycle and for the eco tourists. Yeah.
Now that's quite when you say northern area, how far north from Siem Reap and how much further east?
From Siem Reap to Phnom Penh is about 300 kilometers, and then up to north is over Phnom Penh to the north is about 500 kilometers. But you can make a stop, like to the Kampong Thom or Kampong Cham, and you can combine for the boat trip as well as the road.
Now, there's 2 or 3 tentative World Heritage sites up there. Is this to visit the north? How many days does it take for what you're talking about?
If you go by air, 3 days will be okay. But if you would like to combine, like take part by boat and then take part by road, I think you need at least 1 week. But the problem that we worry is that the hospital and the public health center and those kind of things is not yet at the standard. You never know whether you need them or not. So in that case, the government have to develop in that area, It's very important that you feel secure to operate.
Very good point. Very good point. So right now it's generally the more adventurous traveler, like you say, bikers, hikers.
Yeah. Because of normally for traveling into the north, there are many activities that you can do. You can combine the boat trip, you can go for a walk in the mountain, and you go cycling, but you really need the good hospital.
Some additional new roads will be finished soon. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Can you tell us about them and what will be the significance when they're completed?
It will help the traveling into many areas. Actually, the road competition in the north and between Phnom Penh and Ho Chi Minh is have been developed quite fast. I wonder about the road construction between Siem Reap and Poi Pet, where for me I think it's very important, but the development is not like the one to the north and the one to Ho Chi Minh.
The city that's from Siem Reap to Thailand, is
Yes,
it?
yes.
Heading north to Thailand.
No, heading west.
Heading west.
Yes.
That when completed, how long will that drive be?
I think maybe 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours. Aren't they also building a road from Siem Reap north?
For Siem Reap North, for that one, I am not so sure. Yeah, because of normally to travel from Siem Reap to the north is always back to Kampong Thom, and then from Kampong Thom up north.
Yeah, they're building one.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 more
yeah.
years. Yeah, yeah. It's, you know how it is. Plus 2 years, I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
estimated. Great, thank you very much.
Yeah.